Kingdom of Asturias. It was also from Santiago that the Reconquista against the Moors was launched. The beginning of the Reconquista of the Iberian Peninsula originated in the last holdout of the Christian rebels who succeeded in resisting the Muslim conquest and establishing the Kingdom of Asturias. The kingdom was founded by the Visigothic nobleman Pelagius of Asturias, c. 685–737, also known as Pelayo, who defeated an Umayyad army at the Battle of Covadonga in 718 or 722. Under Pelayo's great-grandson, King Alfonso II, 791–842, Asturias was firmly established with his recognition as king by Charlemagne and the Pope. During his reign, the holy bones of Saint James the Great were declared to be found in Galicia, in Compostela. The tradition at Compostela placed the discovery of the relics of the saint in the time of King Alfonso II, by a hermit named Pelagius, who after observing strange lights in a local forest went for help after the local bishop, Theodemar of Iria, in the west of Galicia. The legend affirms that Theodemar was then guided to the spot by a star, drawing upon a familiar myth element, hence Compostela was given an etymology as a corruption of Campus Stellae, field of stars. 7. The popular Spanish name for the astronomical Milky Way is El Camino de Santiago. St. James' symbol was the scallop shell. According to ancient Greek mythology, the goddess Aphrodite was born as a result of virginal conception and arose from the sea foam in a shell, like a shining pearl. The symbolism is portrayed in Botticelli's The Birth of Venus. From its connection to the Camino, the scallop shell came to represent pilgrimage. The shell is seen very frequently along the trails, and a pilgrim wearing a shell denotes that one is a traveler on the Camino de Santiago. According to legend, Alfonso II's son Ramiro I of Asturias, c. 790–850, defeated the Moors in the Battle of Clavio in 834, during which St. James is said to have appeared riding a white horse and bearing a white standard. St. James was henceforth called Santiago Matamoros, St. James the Moor Slayer. Santiago, y Sierra, España. St. James and strike for Spain, was the traditional battle cry of medieval Christian armies of Spain. In later sources, the earliest to be called Emperor of Spain was Ramiro's grandson, Alfonso III, c. 848–910, called the Great, the King of Leon, Galicia, and Asturias from 866 until his death. As noted by Brian Catlows, in the same way that the rebellions of the 800s demonstrated to the Umayyads that they needed a religious ideology to legitimize their claims of superiority over Islamic Spain, the kings of Asturias realized they needed religion to legitimize their own claims over Christian Spain. Catlows further explains. The histories from the era of Alfonso III, and those composed in the 11th century and later, were written by foreign clergymen who had an explicit commitment to supporting the political supremacy of the Leon's monarchy and endowing it with a providential, divine character. They happily invented histories, forged documents, and concocted genealogies in order to frame the history of Spain in terms of a grand Christian-Muslim conflict that has served as the rationale for the eventual domination of Castile and Leon in the peninsula from the later Middle Ages until today. The monks and priests who wrote these histories conceived of the world in terms of celestial struggle, their language was biblical and their rhetoric apocalyptic. For them, the Christians of Spain were the true Israel, a people chosen by God but cast down for their disobedience and sin, and who were now called on to reclaim their rightful place through inner piety and earthly battle against the infidel. 8. In his last years, Alfonso III was deteriorated into discord among the king and his sons, Garcia, Ordino, and Frula, who rose up in rebellion against their father in 910, forcing him to abdicate and divide his realm into 3 independent kingdoms, with Garcia I receiving Leon, Ordino II Galicia and Frula II the Asturian heartland. The Kingdom of Asturias transitioned into the Kingdom of Leon in 924, when Frula II became king with his royal court in Lepin. However, by 925 the 3 brothers were dead and the region once more plunged into a struggle for succession, and for the next century it would come under the effective domination of the Muslim Caliphate of Córdoba. Frula's death in 925 was followed by a civil war, after which Alfonso, the eldest son of Ordino II, emerged as the new king of Leon as Alfonso IV, ruling from 925 to 932. The succession crisis caused hostilities against Abdurrahman III to cease until Ordino II's son Ramiro II, c. 900 to 951, obtained the throne in 932. By 929, Córdoba was again ruling over a united Al-Andalus, and about to enter its greatest era of glory, making the Umayyad Caliphate the uncontested superpower of Western Europe and the Western Mediterranean, and Córdoba the ornament of the world. 9. Ramiro II actively campaigned against the Muslims, who referred to him as the devil. In 934, after reasserting supremacy over Pamplona and Álava, Abdurrahman III forced Ramiro II to retreat to Burgos, and forced his own aunt Tota, Queen of Navarre, to submit to him as a vassal and withdraw from direct rule as regent for her son Garcia Sanchez I, c. 919 to 970. Tota was the aunt of Abdurrahman III, through her mother's first marriage to Abdullah ibn Muhammad, 844 to 912, the Emir of Córdoba. Tota's husband was Sancho I, c. 860 to 925, who had been aided by Alfonso III in gaining control of Pamplona, over which he ruled as king from 905 until 925. Despite early setbacks, Ramiro II and Garcia were able to defeat the Caliphal army in 939 at the Battle of Simancas, and almost kill Abdurrahman III. One of the Muslim prisoners taken by Ramiro II's troops in the battle was the Caliph's dear friend, Muhammad ibn Hashim al-Tujabi, which caused Abdurrahman III to offer peace. To this purpose, the Caliph dispatched to Ramiro II the famous Jewish physician Hasdai ibn Shayprut, who was in correspondence with the Khazars. According to Ibn Hayyan, an 11th century historical chronicler of Córdoba, Hasdai ibn Shayprut, that unique man of his generation the likes of whom could not be found amongst the servants of any other emperor in the world, because of his high culture, the depth of his cunning, his sharp discernment, and his exceptional cleverness. 10. Hasdai ultimately became very close friends with Ramiro II, who eventually extended Hasdai's stay to over 7 months. 11. The victory at Simancas enabled the Kingdom Leon to maintain the military initiative in the peninsula until the defeat of Ramiro II's son and successor, Ordino III of Leon, c. 926 to 956. Ordino III confronted Navarre and Castile, who supported his half-brother Sancho I, c. 932 to 966, called the Fat, in disputing his claim to the throne. Sancho I was the son of Ramiro II and Tota's daughter, Queen Urraca Sanchez of Pamplona. Tota also took an interest in the health of her grandson Sancho I, whose obesity was largely responsible for his dethronement. In 958, Tota requested the assistance of Abdurrahman III, who sent her Hasdai ibn Shayprut. Hasdai promised to cure Sancho I on condition that Tota visit the city of Córdoba. Therefore, Tota, her son Garcia Sanchez I and grandson Sancho I, as well as nobles and clergymen, arrived in Córdoba, where they were received with full honors and amid much pomp, an event which is considered a landmark in the history of medieval diplomacy. 12.